Let me guess. You want to know exactly what I did to pass my real estate exam? Stay tuned to find out, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Hey y'all, I'm Giselle and I'm a real estate agent here in New Jersey, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you exactly what I did to pass my real estate exam. So the first thing let's talk about is study materials, and this is key. You want to know what to study. So when I first started studying for the real estate exam, I thought I needed to study everything from my 75-hour pre-licensing course. Wrong. It's a lot of information, so of course I felt overwhelmed. I got a breakdown of the topics that are going to be on the exam, and it pretty much lists the importance of it. So for example, when I took the exam, contracts was a heavy hitter. It was worth about 20% of the exam, and the other areas were worth like 15%, 10%, and 5%. So I knew I wanted to spend a lot of time in contracts and learning as much as I can about contracts. And that's exactly what I did. So now that I have the breakdown, it's going to tell me all the topics that I need to study for the exam. So it's probably about 10 to 15 different topics that you want to like focus on. Remember the breakdown I kept referring to? Well, this is an example of it, and this pertains to New Jersey real estate exam. So pretty much there's 110 questions. In order to pass, you need to earn 77 points or 70% to pass. As you can see, the exam is broken down into two sections. There's the national portion as well as the state portion. The national has 80 questions and the state has 30 questions. So, for example, let's look under the national section. When I talked about looking at the section that weighed the most, when you're looking at the percentage and the topics, you can see that the highest percentage is 17% and it pertains to contracts. So that was an area that I wanted to spend a lot of time looking at contracts. The next highest was practice of real estate as well as general principle of agency. That was 13%. So that was the next area that I went to. So I went from the highest percent to the least percentage. I still try to get some coverage on the other areas, but I focus primarily majority of my time and energy on the question that had the highest percentage. I did the same thing when it came to the state portion of it. So statutes and rules governing license activity, 73% of the state portion was on this topic. So of course, I spent a lot of time on this particular topics, and then I moved on to the area that were 10%, such as the licensing requirement and additional requirement. So this was pretty much the format that I used to help me to know what to study as well as what areas to give priority to when studying. And then I went back to my pre-licensing course. I did my pre-licensing course online, and after each section of the pre-licensing course, they provide you with a chapter summary. So I went ahead and I printed those chapter summary for the areas that I needed to focus on for the exam based on that breakdown. I printed all of that information off. And of course, some chapters are going to have more information than others, and it's going to have a lot more pages than others. So I printed all that information out, and then I give myself a time frame. For me, I think I give myself about 3 weeks. So what I did, I signed up for the real estate exam in 3 weeks. This is my accountability. Now I have a deadline and I know I need to study, I need to focus, and I need to be dedicated to what I'm about to do. I need to be intentional about how I'm spending my time and preparing for the real estate exam. So after I signed up for my real estate exam, I got a letter in the mail from PSI, which is the agency that I use to sign up for my real estate exam. And they sent me a breakdown of all the different topics that are going to be on the real estate exam. And they also gave me a percentage how those topics are weighed on the exam. So I knew which areas that I needed to study. So if you're waiting to register for the real estate exam or you're waiting for a letter, you can go online and see the breakdown. So we have our study materials and we signed up for the real estate exam. So the next thing I did is I made flashcards. I got some index cards and I began to write the vocabulary of those words on the flashcards. Then I noticed there were some vocabulary words that I didn't quite understand. Some were simple, so I wrote those down, and some I didn't quite understand. So what I did is I used Prep Agent. Prep Agent is famous on YouTube, especially for those studying for the real estate exam. And I use Prep Agent to help me with the vocabulary section. I have the words, the definition of that vocabulary down, but I also use Prep Agent to help me with the context in which that word is used to help to simplify that definition for me. So I wrote two things for those complicated words. I have the definition and I have the context in which it's used. There's something that's so powerful about writing something down that helps you to remember. So, and quite a few people mention using Prep Agent as for like practice questions. You have Prep Agent you can use to help you with practice question. The agency that I sign up with to take my real estate exam, PSI, they also offer practice questions. I think it costs about $25 for those practice questions. So what you can do is you can study all of the information and then you can take a practice exam just to see where you are. If you're getting high 80s and even 90s, then you know you're ready to take the exam. But however, if you're scoring a little on the low end, you know there's area that you still need more studying to do. And you can go back and study some more. The only practice exam I took was for my pre-licensing course. Just to recap everything that we spoke about as far as how to prepare for the real estate exam. So first, you want to obtain a breakdown of the exam topics, which is going to differ from state to state. Then you're going to want to review your chapter summary based on those exam topics. Then you're going to create flashcards, register for the exam, and lastly, you can take practice questions just to see how you would do on the actual exam. I hope this video was helpful to anyone who is getting ready to take the exam or who have taken the exam and failed the exam and wanted to know what I did to help me pass it. And thank you so much for watching, and please feel free to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much.